Assalamu alaikum, dear students. We are studying about the characteristics of living things, and in this today's class, we will discuss about the number fourth characteristics of living things. That is, living things respond to stimuli. All living things respond to stimuli. What is what any thing what that is happening in our surroundings to which the living things get attracted or respond, that is called as stimuli. Changes in our surroundings that make us respond to them are called as stimuli. For example, if you will throw a stone towards a dog, the dog will uh, move from its place. The dog will move its, that is, respond from them. Similarly, if you will take some food outside and put it on some surface, some organisms will, some birds will come and they will search for it, they will take it. That is their response from them. Similarly, if you have sunlight for plants, from where the sunlight comes, the plant bends towards it. Plant shows response. Similarly, you have seen the sunflower plant directs its flower towards the light of the sun. So this is a response. Similarly, we have different kinds of stimuli in our surroundings to which our body or animals or plants respond. So this respond to the stimuli is another characteristic of living organisms. Another characteristic of living organisms is that living organisms excrete. All living organisms take food, all living organisms need food, or they really eat food, or they consume it, utilize it in the body. For example, in case of plants, what is the role of the food in the body? The food gets consumed and utilized, and it gives us energy. What happens to the rest of the food? The rest of the food is removed from the body as wastes. The rest of the food is removed from our body in the form of wastes. Our body also produces some wastes in other life processes. For example, sweat, this is also an waste product. Urine, this is also this waste product. The process of getting rid of these wastes by living organisms is known as excretion. All living organisms excrete. Similarly, in case of plants show transpiration, by which they release the excess amount of water present in them through their stomata. That's called as transpiration. That's also a type of excretion. So excretion is the removal of waste products from the body. That's also common among all the living organisms. Another characteristic property of living organisms is that all living organisms reproduce their own kind. That is, in a single word we can say all living organisms reproduce. Or reproduction is the characteristic of living organisms. All the living organisms produce their own kind. For example, birds lay eggs. Animals give birth to their babies, by which their generation is brought forward. Animals, the race continues. Animals produce their own kind. Plants produce seeds. When we sow the seeds, the other plants grow, and this process continues. So this is called as reproduction. And this reproduction is common in all living organisms. There are various methods of reproduction. You will study them in your higher classes. So this is called as reproduction. And number last characteristics of living organisms is that all living things show movement. In case of animals, this is visible, this is obvious. All living organisms move from one place to another place. All animals move from one place to another. That is their movement. You know this moment. And what about animals? Animals also move from one place animals show movement, but they are fixed at only one place. Animals or placed are anchored only one place, but they show movement. When they grow, they show movement. When they direct themselves towards the sunlight, that is their movement. When we water the plants, the water moves in the body of the plants and to the flowers, fruits, leaves, etc. This is the moment. And similarly, there is the moment of minerals also in case of body of plants, and there is the moment of food which is prepared in the leaves, and that moves towards the roots, fruits, stem, etc. So this is the moment, and this moment is totally different from that of the moment of a bus or a car moment. So these were some characteristics of living organisms, uh, by which we can differentiate living organisms from non-living or non-living things. There is this living things move, living things need food, living things respire, living things need food, living things reproduce, living things respond to stimuli, living things grow, etc. So these are the characteristics by which we can differentiate between living organisms and non-living organisms.